Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheep Get Sheared podcast, home of people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, Austin Creed, and I want to welcome you into the show. Alright, this morning, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about a question that I have for you, and the question is this. Is the American empire falling? Now, I understand that's a very loaded question, and some of you might think, oh no, Austin, America forever. We're going to live forever, man. Even though no other empire, no other civilization on the planet has lasted forever, we're going to break the mold and we're going to do it. Well, you know, I would love to believe that. And I still love this country. I mean, don't sit here and say that I don't, because I do. Here's the problem, though. The politicians are screwing us over in plain English. They are hijacking our futures to fuel their fortune. Don't believe me? I get it. You know, some people might suspect corruption, they might think it's going on, but you don't truly realize the scope of how bad it actually is. But you know what? I mean, that's kind of the whole point, isn't it? The politicians, if they did everything in broad daylight, then you'd see it and you'd be like, "Oh, hold on a minute." Be like the guy from Jurassic Park. You can't do that, which is why they do everything behind the shadows. They use intermediaries. They use backdoor. They use backdoor dealings. All these things, some parts of it's nothing new. However, here's what I want to really discuss. There are three main elements that I believe are causing our great nation to fall. And I believe the three elements are as follows. Number one is the invasion of the illegal alien into this country. Number two is the indoctrination of the youth. And number three is the emasculation of men. Now we're going to break those down one by one. And I'm going to start by breaking it down by reading for you a list I have compiled. And this is a little bit dated as well, because you can't just look this up on the internet now. All you're going to get is a bunch of lies and bullshit and garbage. So what I did was I actually looked into this in very minute detail about the cost of illegal immigration to this country right now. Now, you will not find this on the alphabet channels, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC. You will not find this on there. They're all part and parcel of the problem, the government media complex. You won't find this on there. But you'll find it on here, the Sheep Get Sheared podcast. I might get taken off YouTube for this. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know what? The truth has a certain ring to it. So I'm challenging you, if you don't believe what I'm about to show you, or tell you rather, go ahead. Call me a liar and combat me with facts. Here's the list. Cost for illegal aliens. I'm going to go down the list, and then I'm going to add it up for you. You ready for this? Here it is. And by the way, this is not adjusted for inflation. This was done like 5-10 years ago. So this is dated, which means it's probably a lot more. So here we go. What is the real cost of illegal immigration? I got the numbers for you. Here it is. $11 to $22 billion on welfare by state governments for illegal aliens. $2.2 billion on food assistance programs, food stamps, WIC, etc. for illegal aliens. $12 billion on primary and secondary schooling for illegal aliens. $17 billion on educating anchor babies, in other words, American-born citizens, to illegal aliens. $3 million a day to incarcerate illegal aliens. And let me remind you, 30% of all federal prisoners are illegal aliens. $90 billion on welfare and social services by the American taxpayers. $200 billion in suppressed American wages are caused by the illegal aliens who work for less. The crime rate amongst the illegal aliens is 2 times that of the American citizen. In 2005, again, a little bit ago, 4 to 10 million crossed the border, and yet you have congressmen saying the total number of illegal aliens in this country is 12 million. Schmuck. 4 to 10 in 2005, not even 15 alone. And you want to look at the border right now and tell me that that's true? You're a liar. Next, the National Policy Institute stated the following. It would cost $206 to $230 billion total to get rid of illegal aliens. In 2006, the illegal aliens sent back over $45 billion in remittances to their countries of origin. And then finally, there is nearly 2 million crimes of the sexual nature committed by illegal aliens. It's an epidemic. So my friends, we'll go back in time. The cost back in 2009, which is the nearest data I could find, which tells you a lot, by the way, stated that it costed $338 billion for illegal aliens. Now, let me show you something. Let me pull this up. Here it is. The value of that $338 billion from 2009 to 2023 is $448.731 billion a year. Oh yeah! And yet you hear no senator, no congressman, no presidential candidate, nobody, no one talks about this number right there. And this is a conservative estimate. This is not taking into account the amount of hotel rooms, the ICE expenditures. This is not taking into account the modern Joe Biden and even Barack Obama administrations. Nope, nothing. Here it is. Almost $500 billion for illegal aliens a year. Which is totally avoidable. They're criminals and they shouldn't be in the country. They broke into the country. And yet here we are, spending at the most conservative estimate I could possibly give you. This is based on numbers from 2009. This is not taking into account all the illegal aliens that are now in this country. This is not taking into account the recent actions or things that are not even being published by the media. This is a conservative estimate from about 15 years ago. Almost 500 bill, which means the number is probably a lot higher. You see why I'm telling you this is a problem that needs to be addressed immediately? This is why. But I'm a racist, right? I just hate everybody, right? No, my friends, the opposite is true. It's because I care about this country that I want the funds to stop going overseas, stop going to the garbage, and stop going to the illegal aliens, and start going to us, the taxpayers, so that we can actually use the money to build something instead of using it to build back better, which was a idea from the central bank run by a communist. Oh yeah, you didn't know about that. You didn't. They want to spend money. They want to spend money to stop inflation. That's how bright and brilliant our Congress and executive branch is. Those bums. And that's just one. That's the illegal aliens. That's why the invasion of the illegal aliens is one of the 3 big problems in this country. Let's go to the next one. Here it is. 40% of all live births in the United States are out of wedlock, according to statistics gotten from 2022. Oh yeah. Oh yes. The single mother rate is out of control. And for those of you who want to sit here and tell me that, oh, there's single fathers too. Yeah, very few. Very, very few. And then for those of you who are like, well, Austin, I mean, there's still 60% who are born to, non-unwed mothers. Schmuck, you're missing the point. Where do you think these single mothers, how do you think they survive? You think they survive because they work 50-11 jobs? No! Why do you think they have EBT, WIC? These things are meant for Uncle Sam to take care of the single mother. Again, it goes back to voting yourself a raise. I raised this question in my public policy class, and my teacher started going crazy. She got mad. I asked her the following question, and I'm curious if it triggers you. I said, is the system rigged, not for the rich to win, but for the poor not to lose? And then she looked me in the eye, and oh my goodness, if looks could kill. If looks could kill, she would have turned me to stone right then and there. She looked at me. You ever see those movies where like, or even like a Rick and Morty episode, where you ask a question or you do something, and then suddenly the person who you thought was normal, all of a sudden gets like those red eyes and is like tweaking on you? Yeah, that's what I saw her doing, proverbially speaking. She got crazy mad. And then when she answered, oh, you know, that's not a public policy issue, I said, respectfully, it is. Because when it comes down to it, people will always vote themselves a raise. So when it comes to the politicians offering to basically pay the people to vote for them using public money, I think that's a public policy issue. She then got really pissed and told me to basically shut the fuck up. And I was like, okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. My friends, look at this. Look at this. This is a problem. This is leading to the indoctrination of the youth. Because guess what? These 4 out of 10 kids, who do you think is teaching them? Public school, TikTok, and their peers, who are also learning from TikTok and the public school indoctrination camp. Who do you think then that they listen to? Answer: nobody. They then will listen to the communists and the bums who will tell them that, oh, you know, you need to go out there and you need to get what you're owed, as if you're owed something, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. You're owed nothing. You are not owed a dang thing. You know what you're owed? Nothing. You earn everything that you get. You earn it. Your grandfather earns it. Somebody earns it. Even if there's generational wealth, someone had to earn that money. It wasn't just given to you. You had to earn it. And then they want to come out here and scream racism. When it comes down to the fact they just didn't have a good family structure, then they want to tell me about racism. This ties into the emasculation of men as well as the indoctrination of the youth. The youth are not taught then by their mother and father, they're taught by the state and by the paid pundits of the state, whether it be in the media, social media, the teachers, all of it is controlled. If you want to look up some really next level stuff, if you're just someone who's new to this, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you are more curious about this, I would encourage you to look up an interview done with Aaron Rousseau, who knew one of the Rockefellers. And the Rockefeller, I think I don't want to mention his name, but I'm pretty sure he's dead now. But one of the Rockefellers told him, he asked him, hey Aaron, why do you think the women's rights liberation happened? Like, why do you think that happened? And he's like, oh, well, because we wanted to make sure that the women were treated right, that we cared about them, that they had equal rights, and blah, blah, blah. And the Rockefeller looked at him and he was like, you're stupid. And he was like, what? What are you talking about? He said, yeah, that's the line we pushed because we knew that people would buy it. Who do you think paid for their signs? Who do you think paid for their lawyers? Who do you think paid for their message to be put out not online, because the internet didn't exist at that time, but who do you think paid for the newspapers? Who do you think did all these things? Answer: we did. Rockefellers, the people at the top. They did it so that they could tax the other half of the population, so that they could put the kids not in the mother's care, but in the care of the state. The state classroom, the classroom itself is structured like a factory. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the classroom structure of the pit boss or the teacher at the front with the rows of assembly lines or tables was structured to prepare the people to become corporate drones in the factories of the robber barons. I'm not making this up. This is where this all comes from. Now, I talked about the children and social media. Let's bring this up now. Here are the effects, and this is using the most non-invasive results possible. Here it is. Negative effects include cyberbullying, in other words, getting people to conform or get thrown out of the herd. 2, inadequate sleep leading to improper development of children. 3, low self-esteem. 4, poor body image. 5, social development issues. 6, substance abuse. 8, self-harm. 9, exposure to inappropriate content like prawn. 10, sexting. Again, getting them exposed too early to explicit content and exposure to destroy their childhood. Why else do you think you see 15, 14, 13-year-olds dressing in drag and going to do these shows for these perverted scumbags, in my opinion? Why do you think that happens? Conditioning. All conditioning. Is this too much? I'm realizing this might be too much. Is this too much game at one time? We haven't even gotten to the emasculation of men yet. I realize that this might be too much. The emasculation of men is largely thanks to us being disenfranchised, told that we're privileged. Meanwhile, we have to bust our behinds to get the bare minimum out here. We're told we have male privilege, white privilege, all these privileges, and yet we see the non-white, non-male, non-straight people have the skids greased for them in every job they come across for diversity purposes, and then they want to turn around and tell guys like me who are straight, heterosexual, white, that I'm the one out here who has all the privilege. Meanwhile, it's you who's getting the skids greased for you. You who getting your butt kissed by everybody. You're the one who's getting out here all these opportunities that I don't get. Then you want to wonder why men are checking out. We're saying, why is it when we have a 90% possibility of getting divorced by an educated woman, and yet all these women are getting degrees? Some of them are very useless, by the way. Why is it then that I would risk marriage with no-fault divorce? Why is it I would want to have kids when my kids can be taken from me? Parentage? But you ain't ready for that, huh? Why would I want to be a man when I could be a transgender woman and compete in sports and break all the records? Again, this is why the knowledge of Rome, Athens, and Jerusalem are going to go down the toilet, because no one actually wants to preserve them anymore. All about how I feel, not what I think needs to be done. Everybody wants everyone to feel good, not actually do what is actually required to fulfill the functions of a functioning society. Instead, we care about feelings instead of functionality. That is why we have the politicians we have, the public policy we have, and why we have the situations and problems we have. My friends, how do you manage yourself in the world in which we find ourselves today? Do you think I was wrong? Think I'm out of line? Please let me know. I would love to hear it. My friends, in the meantime, God bless you. God bless your families, and God bless America. Don't worry. You can make a change in your life, and if enough of us make a change in our individual lives, society itself might make a subtle to seismic shift. But all it takes is the will of a single man.